Hello, thanks for stopping by Phlees Bourbon Journey. Tonight, we're going to dip into what I like to call a Frankenbourbon, okay? This is when I do combinations of things that are complementary to each other. Sometimes it's a first attempt. This is not one of those times. What I have in front of me here is Old Forester 1910 Old Fine Whiskey. This is 93 proof, okay? And it's known as the 1910 edition, okay? Next to it, we have the 1920 edition, which is the Prohibition style Old Forester, okay? Now this one is 115 proof, very different. And off to the side, we have the as yet unopened second bottle of Old Forester Statesman, which is a 95 proof offering. And I will say that for me, it's a toss-up between the Old Forester Statesman by itself neat or the Frankenbourbon mixture of the 1910 and the 1920 together on ice. What I'm doing for you tonight is a Frankenbourbon of these two. Their other brother will just sit off to the side and spectate tonight. So I had somebody at work tonight ask me, I noticed you haven't done another new video lately. Why is that? I said, well, it's not a matter of not wanting to. It's just a matter of the things that I've been visiting on a nightly basis lately are things that I have already done reviews on. So the things that I've been drinking, you've already seen on here. Well, tonight we're going to do something a little different with this Frankenbourbon than what I've been doing the nights previous. First of all, I'm going to add my birthday present 2-inch diameter chrome frozen ball. And what that's going to do is that's going to add some cold into this without changing the proof, because an ice cube, as it melts into your drink, it will actually change the characteristics. It'll chemically alter your drink. Whereas using cold steel, I guess you could say, is literally just adding cold to what you're putting together, okay? So what I have here now is an ounce of each of the Old Forester 1910 and 1920. And yes, that was good stuff. So I like to let this one marinate just a little bit when I've done this before and found how much I enjoyed it. It's usually been on an ice cube, okay? Now this Steel Wonder that I've got in my glass that's frozen and providing cold to my drink tonight, I received it as a birthday gift just this past week for my birthday from my youngest stepdaughter. Very generous, and she knows me too well. But I've heard others refer to this concoction. There's actually some local bartenders. Andrew Clow out at Proof 192 has mentioned this one to me. There's been some others as well, but I hear it referred to, and I like it, as a Old Forester 1915 because it's a mix of 1910 and 1920, so it'll fall somewhere right in between. And I already know I like this. I already have had this before. This is not a first try with you guys. Oh, I love the nose on this. I started to tell you that I was at work, and one of the gals that works at the jail, she works as needed when somebody calls in or somebody has a vacation day or whatever. And she works with the medical side of things. And I don't usually like to mention names, but her name shall forever remain Ashley. And when I tell you that she's funny, that's no joke. See what I did there? She knows. All right, guys, so this is it. The Old Forester 1915 Frankenbourbon. Got a good strong corn aroma. Really, really easy on the oak. It's there, but it's not dominating like it does in some other bourbons. There's almost a artificial cherry, those little cherry candies that you can buy that are sour cherry, and they've got like a candy on the outside and a little crunchy candy on the inside. It's kind of that same aroma, almost like a bitter cherry. All right, let me give you the flavor profiles. Wow. So right on the front, you get almost like a vanilla taffy sweetness, like a vanilla saltwater taffy kind of sweetness. This one's definitely a cherry bomb, okay? And I haven't, using this chrome steel freezer ball for this, it's different from when I use ice, because like I said earlier, the ice will change the chemical makeup of what's in the glass. But this is just the two of them cold together, and wow. Okay, there's a good oak flavor in the flavor profile, but it's, how would I describe it? It's almost like the oak was soaked in something sweet, like if there was such a thing, like a sugar oak. I know that's kind of hard to imagine as I'm describing that to you, but the oak has a sweet that is right on top of it, like I said, as if the oak had been soaked in sugar water. Almost immediately after the beginning, cherry right in the middle of the tongue. Just like taking all the chocolate off of it and eating the cherry center out of a twin Bing. Just cherry, sweet cherry candy flavor. Oh, it's so good, you guys. Now this one's mouthfeel, it's a little on the oily side, which isn't bad usually, but it's also on the thin side. And what I mean by that is it comes on, flavors, dissipates, gone. There's no lingering finish. And honestly, the Statesman by itself, neat, has a very pronounced, long finish. The 1920 by itself typically has a lot of heat in the middle. Again, it's 115 proof, and it's got good flavors. But the 1910 nor the 1920, to me, neither one of them has a cherry note in the palate. But together, strong cherry. In fact, if I was to say that it reminds me of something, it's drinking this Frankenbourbon that I'm going to call the Old Forester 1915. It reminds me a lot, I mean a lot, of the Woodford Reserve Double Oak Spirits and Things store pick from 2021. Because it has that same sweet twin Bing cherry kind of flavor just right in the middle of it. Guys, I really like this one. Definitely not a stinker. Definitely a drinker. On a scale of 3 to 13, with 3 being the lowest and 13 being the highest, I would give this Frankenbourbon an 11. Guys, I keep these bottles around because I like each of them individually, but now that I've delved into the 1915 blend without the water or ice characteristics changing it, this is probably currently my #1 favorite drink in my cabinet. And that's saying something, you guys. I've shown you before. There's above 90 bottles that I still have currently. So saying that this is my #1 favorite, that is saying something. Man, that's good. Guys, you can get a hold of both of these in the Omaha metro area for something around $50 a bottle, give or take. If you watch the sales, you might get them for less than that. Typically, the Old Forester is 50 to 60 for the bottle, the Statesman rather. In my opinion, all three are worth their price. And in fact, they have another one that's Old Forester 1897, which is the bottled in bond 100 proof. I currently don't have a bottle, but I typically like that one to be around as well because it also drinks very well neat and on the rocks. Just generally speaking, these bottles from Old Forester are definitely worth having in your cabinet. You know what? Hit me up in the comments down below. Tell me what you have thought when you have tried the Old Forester products. They also make an 1870, which is like their base model. I haven't tried that one. Let me know what you thought of that one down below so that I can add that to my repertoire of ideas of what to get. But this was definitely a very good Frankenbourbon. Guys, I appreciate you stopping by Phlees Bourbon Journey. I hope that you enjoy your bourbon journey. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like. If you know someone who would enjoy it, share it. And if you want to see what I do next, maybe something aged at sea, fresh crack, first try, maybe. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when I put out new content. Again, thanks for joining Phlees Bourbon Journey. Stay safe.